All right, I'm just waiting for it to set up. Whenever this thing wants to get ready, you know what I'm saying? Sorry for the hold up, y'all. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you all once again for tuning in. We are now streaming on everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that you all get the recording. The recording is also for all of the recordings for this week is going to be uploaded today. So look out for those today. If you haven't received the recordings, look out for those. But today we're going to be talking about family governance. Is anybody familiar with family governance or how to create a family government? Is anyone familiar with that? This is real legacy building right here. Anyone familiar?
No.
No? Okay. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about how to create a family government. We talked about business. Like this whole rest of the week, we talked about business, but I want to go ahead and talk about family for a moment. All right. This is where we talk about how to actually have your family run without you, right? Not your business run without you. Your family runs without you. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen once again. Can you all see my screen? Can you all see me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about family governance. All right. So family government, when it comes to a family business, y'all, it's always divided into 3 different sections. Okay. I'm gonna draw that better because that was OD, boy. That's crazy. You always divide it up into 3 different sections. You have the family, you have the business, and you have ownership. Most people do not think about this. How can you actually have a family business if you do not technically know who owns it? Do you get what I'm saying? That's crazy, right? You actually have to own your business. Okay. So of course, with family, you have 3 different branches, right? You know what how the family, you know how the government is, where they break it down into legislative branch, executive branch, judicial branch. Are you all familiar with that?
Yes.
So you want to do that with your family. Okay. You want to have different branches within your actual family business or within your actual family itself. We're only talking about family. We're not even talking about the business or ownership. We're only talking about the family section. Okay. So when it comes to a legislative branch within your family, does anyone know? Can you all tell me what exactly does the legislative branch do? Can you tell me what they actually do?
Starting with the parents, going down to the siblings, almost like a family tree.
Okay. So family tree. 7, what about you? What do you think the legislative branch is in the family?
I would say that's public opinion, so to speak, or the majority family opinion on things.
Okay, public opinion. Anybody else have anything to chime in with? What about the executive branch? What do you all think about the executive?
The representatives of the family.
The representatives. You said you agree?
Authorized representative, yes.
Got you. What about judicial?
A governing body.
Okay. Government body. All right. So this is actually what I'm going to give you all the name and what you're supposed to do with the legislative branch. Okay. So the legislative branch, the name for it in your family is actually called a family assembly. This is what your legislative branch title is. It's called a family assembly. So what family assembly is like your family meetings. These are your retreats, and these are also your reunions. So everyone should be having family legacy meetings every single week. Every single week, you should be having family legacy meetings. Okay. Pick a day, pick a time. Say it again.
Is that something that could be done, say like a Zoom call with the family members for those that can't be at
1,000%. 1,000%. These could be Zoom calls. These can be in person. They could be at a dining room table. They could be at a different location. As long as you're having it every single week at a certain time, you always want to have it. Okay. Retreats is on an annual basis. Same with reunions. They're on an annual, and well, reunions can be annual or biannual, depending on how big your family is and or how substantial the reunion is. But the family retreats, great question. So the family legacy meetings are just discussions about how to take yourself to the next level. Family retreats are discussions about how to appoint people in your executive branch and how to appoint people in your judicial branch. You are voting for people, and this is what the executive branch is called. It's called the family council. The retreats are pretty much saying, hey, who's going to join the family council? That's where the retreats come in. Annually, you're deciding who's going to be the family council, what's going to be or you're going to create your core values right now. Of course, some of these things you may not be able to do right now. So the retreats may be combined with the family meeting, depending on how your financial situation is. And it's okay if it is. You can grow to the retreats. The whole point is there's stages to this. Okay. And I'll break down the stages to a family business in a second. Right. But this is the family council. That is the executive branch. The retreats go into the family council. Now the reunions, they're annual or biannually, right? What they do, what's the movie? What's the movie that had the family reunion? Was it Medea?
Johnson, is that the one with Martin and
Yes, it was Medea, the big family reunion.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Medea. The first Medea movie.
Yes. So let me ask you all a question. In that movie, who were the people that were mainly talking? Was it the young people or was it the elders?
the elders at first.
The elderly at first were talking. They were the ones making the decisions. So the judicial branch is called the Council of Elders. These are your people that are embodying the vision, mission, and values. So your reunions are appointing the new elder. Same with retreats as well. The retreats are doing the same thing. You're appointing both of them, but I'm sorry, the reunions you're not appointing. The reunions are basically like a celebration, getting to know the people. This is the bonding time with the new elders. This is the people who are, you're really getting to know. But the retreats, you're appointing both the family council and the council of elders. Another word for the council of elders that you all can use is called the advisory council. These are people that you can actually they're the same names. They're just interchangeable, right? Any questions on this?
Markus, in doing my presentation to the family members, that's something like would be a PowerPoint thing where I can point to that speaks to the elderly, gathering information so that the whole body would know this is the process of selecting ongoing executive members and governing members. Yeah,
Are you asking, can it be a presentation? Is that what your question was?
Yes.
It can be a presentation. You want to have certain criteria to appoint an elder. So when it comes to building a family business, there is such thing as rituals. Right. So there should be rituals for every single thing that you're doing. When it comes to a newborn, right? As we all know, when it comes to a new elder, you should have a ritual for when you have a new elder. You should have a ritual when dang, I just went blank. Hold on. I'm gonna bring it up for you all. Give you the exact.
Glad you're saying all of this, Marcus, because this is something that I had set up for my family as well. And when it comes to the legislative, executive, and judicial branch, I have this set up. And the judicial branch was like you have it here, the elders, and the ritual that we have, it's called removing the mantling. And that's like where, if you see, like on my family seal, we have a caprice war crown. And that is like, and you know, on that crown, it has like these little sashes that cover the neck, like cloth. And we take that off to represent, that's like the ritual, you removing that to represent that you are now moved into the elder position of the family. So would you say something like that is okay?
What was the name of yours called, so I can make sure that I'm following you?
Well, the name of the ritual is removing the mantling, the removal of the mantling. It's almost like
that's the ritual to appoint. That's the ritual to appoint a new elder.
Yeah. And your age, you have to be at least 70 to be in the elders council.
Correct. So there are certain criteria to, like, that's your criteria. You have to be a certain age. You have to have a certain, let's say, education, mentality. There's like different criteria when it comes to that. So yes, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Then you have, speaking of rituals, coming of age. Has anyone heard of like the rites of passage?
Oh, yes.
That's like a ritual. That used to be, I went through this ritual. I went through, what is it called? A botillion. That was my ritual to become, to coming of age. I did that in high school, right? Then you have a ritual, which is the arrival of a new member.
That's considered a newborn.
Yeah, if you have a new member, this could be
like a married in person.
Yeah, like a marriage. That's a great example. That'd probably be like the best example. I don't want to go like too deep into it, but the arrival of a new member, you want to have a ritual for them, a celebration for them, which we all know that's the marriage ceremony, right? But there needs to be somewhere in that marriage ceremony, a great thing about these rituals, right, is at the end of the day, you are giving them your family crest.
Yep.
You are pretty much saying you are now a part of the family.
Accountability comes with it.
Exactly. So then when you're a part of the family, you also have family duties, family things that you must uphold. Right? Another thing, which we all know, is the death of a member. Which we all know the ceremony for that, right? That's a funeral. Right? And then the one that everyone always says, you know, what's the word that I'm looking for? That's my cousin, but not really my cousin. That's my brother, but not really my brother. That's called the introduction of an outsider, of a new outsider. So anybody that can be like a mentor, that could be like a childhood friend, right? That could be an advisor for the family, and etc. Right? That could just be anybody. But these are all like rituals that you want to put in place that are all discussed, y'all, in this family assembly.
Marcus, one of the things that I have set up with my family in the seal is it's actually broken up into 5 different seals, so to speak, because we have a seal that represents the executive branch, we have a seal that represents the judicial branch, and we have a seal that represents the legislative branch. And then there's two subsequent seals that one representing the new members from marriage, whether it's like a stepchild, a son-in-law, or a husband or a wife that comes in.
Right.
And then we have just affiliate members to the family.
Like like what I was saying, the outsider.
Yeah. So with each one, it has its own you have your own capabilities with it, and or limitations with them. There's certain things you can do, certain things you can't do unless you have a particular seal that you're using. But all the seals are they build on each other.
1,000%. 1,000%. That's really where it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you want to make sure you see, the thing is you have pieces, but now it's a matter of structuring them. Now you have to develop a system and then optimize it where you're not in the picture anymore.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like now, because what thing is, you're setting everything up. I could tell you're the one getting everything in order, blah, 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 blah. But it's now time for you to appoint somebody. This is why you want to have these family meetings. Like I said, the family retreats could happen later. You want to start with the family meetings at the moment, once a week. You have the family meetings and start by appointing somebody. Somebody needs to be a secretary. Here's a key thing here, right? There's two positions that you need to have in a family meeting. You need to have the secretary, and then you need to have
they're going to keep the trust minutes.
Exactly. I was just about to say that, right? They're going to keep the minutes within the meeting, and then you want to have a person that is I'm going to call it a leader. I just can't remember the name, but this person is designated to appointing. That's the responsibility, right? That's the person that's like, okay, well, let's say we're going to appoint Salahuddin as a family counsel. Their job is to get it done. Does that make sense? That's their responsibility. Then everybody else, of course, has their own responsibilities. But the person, it's not called the leader, but I'm going to call it today. But this person is designated to actually getting those things done, right, in those meetings. Because when you have family meetings, think of that. When you're having a business, especially if you're talking business in these meetings, you have to have meeting minutes for your business. So you got to have those things. And nowadays, your secretary could be a person or it could be an AI. Let's be real. Right? We got technology now. Right? So this is where that comes in. Any questions on this so far?
When it comes to the Council of Elders and the legislative branch, as well as the executive branch, is there, for lack of a better word, is there going to be a key man for each one? Meaning like a head, like they got the chairman of the board. So is there going to be a chairman of the Council of Elders, a chairman of the Family Assembly, a chairman of the Council of Representatives?
1,000%. So I'll give you an example, right? So let's do Family Assembly. I'm just going to put council for family council, and then I'm going to put elders for the Council of Elders, right? You have a chairman, like you said. You also want to have a secretary in here. Basic stuff, right? Think of a business. Think of like the board of directors for business. The same people you would have in a board of directors are the same people you would have in your family business. But these aren't people that you're doing business with. The family council are people that represent your family. So if your family wants to work with another family, then the family council's job is to get that done. Right? All the elders' job is to take care of the children, to take care of the vision, mission, and values, to make sure that they're telling stories, right? You all have heard of the legends, the myths, right? That comes along with the tribes back in the day where they would tell the stories. Their job is to tell the stories. Their job is to keep the vision of the family business alive, also be the wisdom of the family. As we all know, elders are wisdom, you know, that was pretty much self-explanatory, right? There's so many different things, right? So they're the you have representatives, of course, in there, but that's what their job is, to represent the family. Right. And like I said, you have the meeting, the weekly meeting. You have the retreat, which is annual. And then you have the reunions, which is bi or annually. Personally up to you and your family. Right. So this is really how the meetings are. The family council, they meet annually. And the elders meet annually. Like I said, Zoom, in person, whatever. Right. So these annual meetings are set. The council and elders are separate from the retreat. Now, like I said, there's gray areas because not everybody is at the stage where they can just do family retreats. So you may have the council and the elders do their meeting the same times you have your retreat, but then they may have their meeting separate from the regular assembly meeting, where it's everybody. The elders would have their own breakout room and they would have a discussion, and the councilors would have their own breakout room and have their discussion. Right. So it's very similar to how you do things. Any questions on this so far?
No.
Does anybody know how to make a family vision statement, mission statement, or core values?
Well, the way we did ours was we spoke amongst, most of the men and women amongst the family, the eldest, and we just came up with things that us as a family were known for and what we valued, and just kind of distill that down into core values.
That's one way of doing it, right? So Lahuddin, what do you think? Do you have this in place?
Not in place. I'm on a lot of the let me rephrase that. I'm going to use the family tree to help facilitate bringing those points to the table to have those discussions. And it will be like a breakout. When I call them to come to a Zoom meeting, or if I hear about a gathering, I want to be able to take the family tree and send it there. And for those who are willing to come on board and challenge themselves to go through the rites of passage of becoming, getting on this family tree and knowing the responsibility that come with it. Because as you said, with the council, with the elders and appointing, these are things that they got to be, that we are used to it on other folks' jobs, but in our own family, we have the tendency to have these little hiccups and hangups, and so but in order to with the crest that I pray to design, in order for your crest to become a full crest, you will have to accomplish several tasks to get there. And if you have not gone through the whole 7 tasks to get there, for that crest to come together, to be a whole crest, then you cannot hold a certain position.
Right.
Based on how you put this, I hope to be able to show my crest. It won't be real soon, but I got to go now and design it, because you just gave me the format by which to design, how to design it. As they get to certain stages, they get another piece to go with the crest. The crest, you have the original crest will be sitting there, but as you come up through the ranks, even for those who, starting out, everybody got to come up through the ranks. Your work's got to speak towards you getting your portion to make this crest whole, to make you whole, to be able to hold a position or hold a position of authority.
Exactly.
I'm gonna be a little hard, because we got some hard-headed folks out here.
Not for real.
I want to hear that hard-headed message. If you haven't done A, B, and C, forget about D. I don't want no
Oh, for
dean.
sure. And what's crazy is, and this is, I'm not trying to make this like a negative topic, but has anyone heard of, everyone's heard of this. There's something that gangs have and gangs and governments have in common, right? And it's hierarchy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. And so, and what they have here is, and this is, I'm trying to remember, like you have, let's just do this. Let's, instead of it being gangs, this will be easier to describe because everyone knows this. Let's do the military. This will be a better idea. The military, you have, what is it? A private? Is that what it starts off as, y'all?
Yeah.
Private,
And then is it lieutenant afterwards?
corporal, corporal, and then sergeant.
There we go. Help me out here. We got corporal. Then we got sergeant. What else we got?
Then
We're
you
missing
become a sergeant first
Captain.
class, second class. So it's
Major.
Exactly.
so there's steps to it.
And so what I want you all to think about is this, and you mentioned it, but back in the day, they used to knight people for accomplishments.
Yeah, that's
right.
a part
And
of it.
so that's what I want you all to start doing. I love the part where you talked about putting pieces, giving them the foundation of the crest. But if you want additional pieces to the crest, you have to actually do accomplishments. And that's exactly what you want to do. Right. So you want to knight people for accomplishments. And what they have, they had knights. They had what was it? What was the name? I can't remember. There was a lord. There was a prince, right?
Baron, Duke.
There we go. That's what I was looking for, was the Duke. That's what it was before that. There was a Duke first. There we go. There was a Duke. Then there was the prince and the princess, right? I'll just put S. And then you have like the king and the queen. Right? Like that's how you kind of want to put the pieces together for your crest. Now, of course, I would highly suggest you all do a little more research. There are in between hierarchies in here that I'm missing, right? But like this is kind of like how you want to knight. So like, let's associate knight with, and I'll give this another color. Let's associate the knight as graduating high school or college. Right? Actually, let's separate that because nowadays you can graduate high school easily. Let's say college is a lord. Then let's say a career or entrepreneurship is a duke. Then hitting a certain figure, right, which is a monetary amount, is a prince or a princess. And then let's say in order for you to become a king and queen, you now have to pretty much become like a family. I'm just going to call it a family lord, y'all, but a family king and queen, whatever you want to call it. But like they're above, they're the people, they're like the people that are, actually, this will be better. Right? They're like a part of the councils. Let's say you're a part of the council, right? Like, but like you want to stagger your the hierarchy within your family, just like the military would stagger their hierarchy within their family, right? And so you would just say certain accomplishments. You graduated high school, cool, you are now being knighted. You graduated high school or college, you're now being knighted. Career, you're now being knighted. You hit, let's say, 6 figures, you're being knighted. And there may be like, you know how we said sergeant 1 class, sergeant 2. You get what I'm saying? Maybe the figures can be, okay, this is 5 figures. Now this is 6 figures. Now this is 7 figures. And then you can keep knighting them as they go forward.
Yeah, I actually thought about you know how they in the military, they have their decorations, right? On their chest, the flags and stuff. I thought about doing something like that for the family. Like the family has like a uniform and they can be decorated whenever we need to have like a family assembly or something like that. You know, you wear your decorations, so to speak, so as a way to show your own position within the family.
Exactly. 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 Right. So to go back, right, because it all derives from the vision, mission, and values, right? The way that we've learned to come up with these things, right? And this is because, you know, like Salahuddin said, people are hard-headed, is that we have each person come up with their own value, their own vision statement, their own core values, their own mission statement, right? So each one would come up with a vision, come up with a mission, and come up with the value. And then what we would do is we would come together as a collective and make a decision. What's going to be our vision, what's going to be our mission, and what's going to be our core values. These are things that you kind of want to put in place, right? Oh, I remember the name of this person now, y'all. I remember the name of this person. It's not a leader, it's called a chairperson. That's what it's called.
Yep.
Okay.
A secretary and a chairperson. That's what it's called. The chairperson is the person that facilitates the meeting as equals. Those are the people that facilitate, not the people who tell other people, not the executor. Each person has their own duties, right? But the chairperson facilitates the meeting, because sometimes your meetings can be crazy. Not everybody's going to be on the same accord. So you need to have a chairperson that facilitates that, right? A great person that's a chairperson for us is my brother, right? I would technically be the secretary because I'm the one that does the operations anyway. Right. So that's kind of like how you want to have those things set up. I couldn't remember what it was until we started talking about chairman and all that other, and then it hit me. You know what I'm saying? So that's the name of the person on there. Does anybody have any questions about how to get the family mission statements?
No.
All right, cool. That's what I like to hear. So going back up to the family governance, because everything matters with the family governance, right? And like I said, and we're only going to talk about the members section at the moment. When it comes to family, you obviously have your family members. You have your family assemblies. You have your family council. And you have your family elders. Does this make sense? This is the part of your family. This is only the family side of things. This is not anything else. Right? When it comes to the business side, well, let me first ask, does anybody have any questions in regards to that? Did I miss anything on that?
No.
Good.
Good. Everybody has an understanding on that end?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Right. So when it comes to the business side, right, you have the actual title, which is like the managers. Actually, I'll just put managers here. I'll just put the execs. You have like executives. And then you have the actual employees. These are actually your employees for your business. These are non-family member employees. Okay. Non-family member employees.
And family members can be employees as well, right?
1,000%. So the gray area here, right, is family employees. That's the gray area. If you wanted to hire your family members as employees in your business, you can. I'm glad you said that. I was going to say that anyway, but yeah. Right. Then you have your ownership. Your ownership is your meetings that we were talking about, your minutes, and your shares. Also your agreements. Who owns the company? Right? What percentage of the company does this person own? How many meetings are we having? What about a partnership agreement? Right? And the gray area of that would actually be your board of directors. Right? The gray area for your business and your family is actually the family owners. Because, of course, your family owns the business. Right? And then, of course, the very center is just owners. Your family as a whole. And I mean, sometimes, because the reason why I just say owners, right, is because sometimes the owners you can have different executives in your business and different executives for your family. Owners are different from family owners. You may have a non-family employee as your executive. And so the combination of all of them is just owners. Okay. Your owners own the family, the business, and have ownership over the business. Does this make sense?
Yeah, so you're saying like, with the Johnson family, they may have somebody named Keith Smith who maybe has a percentage of the Johnson family company, and
Correct.
they would fall under that owner's portion in the center.
Exactly.
So that's why they encompass it just as owners, because it could be anybody.
It could be anybody. Right? It could be anybody and the family.
Anybody.
It's pretty much family plus whatever that is. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why there's owners.
Resource and investors.
Exactly. Investors, shareholders, VCs, as in venture capitalists. It can be anybody. Right? So that's pretty much why there's an owner section. Any questions on family governance?
No.
Okay, cool. So now I'm going to break down the different stages of creating a family business, and then we'll go into any questions that you all have, because that's pretty much the end, right? Let's talk about family business stages. Stage 1. It's very simple. Actually have a family business. All right. I mean, it's that simple. What we just discussed, actually execute on it. Have a family and actually have a business. Like it's actually quite simple, right? Create a business, make sure it's cash flowing. And then, of course, you have no choice but to have family members. You're born. No one's asexual out here, right? So actually have a family and actually have a business, right? Second step, we discussed it all throughout this training, right? Is you want to actually have a family trust. Like I said, you have a son, a daughter. I'm just giving an example. You have a father and you have a mother. Each person has an LLC. And all the LLCs go to the holding company. And all the holding companies, all go to the family trust.
And we can't have just one holding company if we wanted to, right?
No, the one holding company isn't enough. That's actually putting all your eggs in one basket.
Okay.
Right? So you definitely don't want to do that.
But you could as easily replace holding companies with a little miniature trust as well, right?
Correct. That's stage 1, y'all. Another thing about stage 1 is with stage 1, usually this is where you start having your family legacy meetings every week. Usually this is, at the home, and this is usually between 2 to 4 people, depending on the household, right? This is usually stage 1. Any questions on stage one?
No.
Is this simple for you all?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Let's go to stage two. Oh, I missed one thing. Usually in stage one, this is where you're usually at the 0 to 100K stage. Okay, I missed that part. Stage two. Right? This is where we get into real estate. You're in real estate. You may be going on their family retreats / vacations because we write off everything. Wink, wink, right? Foundations. Right? You need those. You got to give back. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where this comes in, right? And of course, when it comes to your real estate, each property has its own LLC. And of course, those are all going up under the holding company. And let's say this is mother. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, in this sense of the LLCs for the properties, you don't want to put all of each property in one LLC either, do you? Or do you want to do more?
What if they sue that one LLC and dissolve it? Now all of your properties are SOL.
Okay.
No. Real estate mistake 101. Never put all your properties up under one LLC.
No, I'm saying one holding company. I'm sorry. So you see how you got it here? It looks like there's 3 LLCs under this one holding company.
Yeah, you can do that. 1000%.
So unlike the family trust, where each LLC has its own holding company.
No. So then, okay, so I see where the confusion is. This is each LLC. You have as many LLCs with the mother, each LLCs, as many LLCs.
For the person. So
For the person.
themselves have one holding company, but they can have 100 LLCs, right?
Correct.
Okay. And when it comes to the real estate, how does
It's
that?
just more LLCs.
And is one holding company.
And one holding company.
Okay.
Well, you can create another holding company. I've seen people create a separate holding company with like a real estate holding company. Does that make sense? With all their real estate LLCs.
Right.
I've seen that happen. You can do that. So like you can divide your holding companies into different segments, like how you had yours, where you had a foundations holding company, a real estate holding company, a business holding company, but all of them have to go to the trust. Does that make sense?
They all fall under a trust.
They all fall under the trust.
One could fall under a ministry trust, or a ministry trust can hold a holding company.
Say that question again, so I can make sure I'm visually understanding what you're saying.
So, as you were saying, you can have however many holding companies you want, as long as it comes under the family trust or the trust.
Correct. So this is the hierarchy of how you want your trust to be. So you have your 508c1a FBO, which is your faith-based organization, which is your ministry trust.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You then have your private family trust. You then have your business trust. And then you have your holding company. Your holding company is reporting to the business. Your business is reporting to your your family, and your family is reporting to the ministry.
Right.
So it's one straight shot linear fashion. Does that make sense? And then you have all your LLCs.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's how you have it designed out.
Okay.
Right. So did not mean to confuse you. I just thought from
No.
previous.
You got it.
Okay, cool. So that is stage two. Another part of stage two, right, is this is where you have like a board meeting. This is like your round table. I'm gonna call it the round table. Right? This is your round table, y'all. Your round table, you usually have about 4 to 12 people. These numbers are guides. I want y'all to understand the numbers that I'm giving you here are guides, right? This is usually when you're at 100K to about $1 million a year. These are guide numbers. These are not like these are not comfortable. It depends on where you're at. If you're already making 100K a year, then of course you need to get stage 1 and stage 2 done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like these are just guides here. I don't want you all to be like, I don't want you to marry to these numbers, because some people may not have 4 people in the household. They may only have 2 people in the household. You know what I'm saying? So like, I want you all to really, pay attention to what I'm saying here. All right. Any questions on stage 2?
Mhm.
All right, cool. Let's talk about stage 3. Stage 3. Right? This is where we talk about the family office. The family office, oh my God, you guys, is so crucial. I'm literally reading a book right now on how to establish the best family office that you can. Okay? So there's so much when it comes to a family office, but
Can you
in a
get that book
nutshell,
out? Is that possible?
the book is called, I just don't have it in front of me right now. I just got the book, so I don't remember the name of it right now.
Okay.
When I'm done with this, I'll see if I can find the book, because I got hundreds of books. I even got a library back there of books, so I got to remember the name. You could just Google family office book, like Google that, and you'll find the book. I just can't remember the name of the book right now.
Okay.
It's some fancy name. I'm sorry. I can't remember the name of the book. But when it comes to the family office, in a nutshell, to kind of give you an understanding of how the family office works, is the Rockefellers had billions of dollars. So they could afford a family office, and a family office to them was having their own in-house attorneys. Like, the attorneys was not working with anybody else. The people that they're working for wasn't working with anybody else. It was solely for them. But we do not have the finances to be having our own in-house attorneys right now. So we need to develop ways to create our own family office, right? To be able to take your family to the next level. Okay. So we got family office. You also want to get into, here we go. Right. Real estate investing. This is where you get into philanthropy. Oops, sorry about that, y'all. Someone's calling me. This is where you get into family partnerships. So remember when I talked to you all last time about the family council talking to other people, other families, right? This is where you start partnering with other families so you all can be taken to the next level as a family. Or there's another way of partners, right? What if your family wanted to what if a member wanted to partner with another member because another member had a great idea? This is where you start building businesses within your own family, right? So this is really where the family partnership comes into play, right? So like I said, some of the people that you want to have in your family office, I meant to say this, is your attorneys, credit specialists, trademark attorney, copyright attorney, tax strategists. Strategists and a regular CPA are 2 separate people, right? A regular CPA is only for tax season. A tax strategist is 365 days out of the week. I'm sorry, out of the year, excuse me. And they are designated to making sure that you are within the lines of the tax code. You're paying taxes, but not leaving a tip, right? Another person. Say it again.
The one who makes sure you pay taxes but not leaving a tip. Which one does that?
Tax strategist.
Tax strategist. Okay.
Yep, that's your tax. Another person. Who do we have, y'all? Trying to remember everybody that we have too. Oh, okay. So attorney, we're going to break that down. You have a trust attorney. You have a regular, lawyer for any, situations when you're in the eyes of the law. I'm really trying to remember. The other, somebody help me out here. What other things is important? Thank you. Insurance. That's so important. Insurance person. Thank God. I couldn't get that out. So that's like your business insurance. That's like your health insurance. And that's your life insurance. Right? All those people you need. Let me make sure. Oh, yeah, you definitely need that. Relationships with banks. So, yeah, a banker you need. You need that. You need to make sure to make relationships with banks because that's how you'll be able to get funding. Okay. Let me make sure I have everything. Accountant. An estate planner, which is dealing with your trust as well. A financial advisor. These are all people, I promise you, that you need to have within your family office. Okay? You need them. I can't remember anybody else, but you pretty much get the gist of things. Okay? When it comes to another thing with the stage 3, right? Is with stage 3, this is where you start actually doing your family retreat on a consistent basis. Okay? This is usually your family retreat. You want to kind of bring a decent amount of people, 12 to 20 people. You're making a little bit of bread, This is where you get to the 1 million to 10 million stage, You're getting a little somewhere, getting a little money here and there, Any questions on stage 3?
No.
All right, cool. Let's talk about stage 4. This is the last stage. When it comes to stage 4, this is where you're actually focused primarily on making sure that your next generation gets everything. You're passing it on to the next generation. Okay? You're passing it on to the next generation. This is where you start getting into the private equity funds and everything. So you start getting into that private equity funds. It's the highest form of business right now, if you're not aware. This is where you start doing more impact investing. It's similar to philanthropy, but it's high level. It's more high level. Okay. This is like impacting in like an entire province or country or city instead of it just being a group of people. Right. Like if you're going to a homeless shelter or something, this is where you're actually impacting real, like high level lives real quick. Okay. Then say it again.
Like building water wells.
Exactly. Like going to Africa and building water wells or going to impoverished countries and building things that is needed. That's like impact. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a different level of impact. Right now we're getting into like the last thing is second equity business. So what that means is you've gotten the first family business scaled up the way that you need to, right? Because of course, right now you're probably at 10 million plus in your business. You're at the 10 million plus at this point. This is where you start maybe investing into other businesses. Not investing, creating another family business. Because the investing in other businesses is what this is for. This is you actually creating a whole nother family business. Okay. And this is where you start getting higher and higher in the food chain, right? Here's another thing, right? With second stage, you want to start doing you want to build a private trust company. It's a private trust company. This is just like, a company designated to building trusts for your family. It's a private trust company. People come to this is where you get the family bank coming into play. This is where people come to you for trusts, for capital, for funding, whatever, because you're now focused on the next generation. All right. And this is usually when you're about 20 plus people in. Say it again.
So this private trust company, that company is set up for the family members to go and request money. Is that right?
Yep. And a lot more. But yes, because you're focused on the next generation right now. So this is where the next generation is like, hey, I need to talk to my trustee and I'm trying to request money.
Okay.
Trying to start building that family bank. And there's a lot more that goes into the private trust company. It's a lot more extensive and a lot more detailed. So I would definitely Google what a private trust company is so that you can have a lot more understanding on how the private trust company runs. But that's pretty much how everything is set up for success.
Well, wouldn't that private trust company going back to, I think that was day, maybe what it was yesterday, we were talking about the insurance policies. So let's say we're starting at level 1, we got the insurance policies set up. We don't want to allow people to start borrowing from those insurance policies until we hit stage 4 and created the private trust company first.
Like I said, everything is with a grain of salt, right? So if you are wanting to borrow before, you can, but you also have to understand you actually have to have money in here first. So it takes years in order for you to actually have some form of capital in your trust. You got to fund your trust. So if it takes you till you get to this point, yeah, sure. But like there are people that get it done 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It just depends on you.
Right.
I'm just explaining the stage. You may hit the stage faster than most people. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
So any
Markus,
questions on stage
do
4?
those
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Salahuddin.
Markus, do those insurance policies fall into that trust to help ensure that the trust continue to be funded?
Yes. But stage 4, before you even get to stage 4, the insurance should already be situated. So when you remember in stage 1, you're building your family trust first, right? So that means you should be having your insurance right afterwards. You should have your companies, your LLCs, all that. Does that make sense? And then by the time you start generating capital, getting into real estate, start building out your team, your family team, start giving back, start partnering with people, you should have a lot of wealth into this trust. And then that's when you're at stage 4 where people are able to actually start borrowing. Does that make sense? Just because you got to think of this as the long game. Like you don't want to just start borrowing just because you got a trust and an insurance in place. You can't do that yet. It takes time. Unless you just have a lump sum of money to just put into a trust, then that's totally different, right? Like if you got 100,000 or 50,000 or 30,000, you can just put into the trust, and then you want to borrow it 31 days later, then by all means, do whatever you want to do. That is not financial advice, y'all. I'm just talking here. I'm just letting you know the what to expect. But like, you want to actually have some form of wealth in here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Any questions on this?
Now, Markus, there will be a cheat sheet that from you on the points that we're making today, right?
I'm actually going to give you this. This is something that you're going to have. This exact drawing and everything that we have here, I'm going to give to you.
Okay, cool. It'll be in the
Facebook group. Yep, it'll be in the Facebook group.
Oh, in the Facebook group. Okay.
So you'll have this, and you'll have yesterday's.
Okay.
All right, cool. So any questions on this?
Markus, you're doing a good job, man. I love that young energy, boy. Woo! I have some nieces and nephews. Man, I tell them all the time, y'all just don't know. They don't see themselves making this easier because of their energy of being able to just do the research and actually doing the work,
Right.
And that's so key.
Yeah, I definitely have put in some work. I am always learning. I'm reading about a book a day at this point. At this point, I'm at least it may be two, because I'm going through books so much on my downtime to make sure that I constantly have one, more content to give you all, more information to implement, right? It's all about
Resource.
it's all yeah, exactly. It's all about more information, more information for you all, more access, more everything, right? And I can never act like I know everything. You know what's crazy? I did before I got into the family office, like the intro of the family office, I thought I knew everything. My ego was boosted. I thought I knew everything till I read this book called Family Wealth. I highly suggest you all read that book, Family Wealth. I highly suggest you all read the book, Family Trust. It's literally called that book. What's another book? There's another book I just can't remember right now. At the top, I've read so many books that some of them are kind of interchanging in my head. But those are the two books that literally changed the game. I thought I knew everything. I listened. I said, "Wait, what?"
Are they on Amazon?
They're on Amazon. They're everywhere. Yeah, both of those books are on Amazon. Actually, let me look on my Audible real quick. Look
I'm
on my
gonna
app.
pull back up Claude Anderson book as well.
That's a really good book.
Powernomics.
Powernomics, man. I got to pull that book back up. When you first get certain things, you go through it, and you don't. I didn't go all the way through it, but now I see the wisdom of the ancestor put it in my thought pattern to get it, so I can refer to it, and I see how it's going to come into play.
It's so good. Powernomics is so good. That's such a good book, yo. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Happen to have as part of the challenge any type of book, PDF book list or anything that or recommended readings?
I can add them in the additional resources section for you. Those
Okay.
two books that I added, I can add them there. I'll see. I can't remember if I have the. Hold on, I got some. Let me go to my library real quick because there are some books on here that may have it. Let me see. So many books. Some of them are physical, so I'd have to like look and see what I have. But when I have it, I'll put it in the additional resources section for you all.
Okay.
I have some of them are like physical. Some of them are oh, actually, I have another app. I highly suggest if you can't find things on Audible, there's this book called Scribed.
Oh yeah.
SCRBD. Man, I got so many books on here.
Yeah.
I remember the book Single Family Office is the name of the book about the family office. It's called Single Family Office. Yeah, that's such a good book.
Right. Yeah, scribed or whatever. Yeah, they used to give a lot of they used to give you like a 7-day trial, but they never charged you. They just let you keep your account.
Oh, that's great.
Man, I had so many books from there.
What Would the Rockefellers Do is a great book.
Mm-hmm.
Become Your Own Banker is a great book. What's another book on here that I have? I got so many books, y'all. The Creature from Jekyll Island is a good book.
Oh yeah, I got that one.
Yeah, that one's good. So like I highly suggest y'all read those books, y'all. I'm telling you. Those books will change the way that you view money. I'm telling you.
Okay. And one of the things that I like that we're talking about here is these hierarchy systems and qualifying people that want to engage with the trust and stuff like that. And one of the things that I came up with was a credit score of sorts for the family. So,
Nice.
What we call it is your FAM number. So your FAM, your familiar accreditation matrix number. So based upon what your FAM score is, depends upon what benefits and privileges you're able to take advantage of from the trust.
Mhm.
Would that be
I like
something?
that. I like that. Federal accreditation matrix number. That's good.
Familial accreditation.
Oh, familiar.
Familial, like
Oh, like La Familia, like
familiar, yeah.
Spanish. Okay, gotcha. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. I like that. But how are you measuring it though? And how is it digitally measured? Because it would have to be digital.
Well, one of the members of the family can I share something?
Sure.
Give me a second. Okay.
So 7, are you in Atlanta as well?
No, I'm in Miami, sir.
Okay.
Can you see this?
Yep, I see it now.
So
It starts from 1 to 99. Okay.
yeah, yeah. You should be doing something. If you can't get 100 points in the family, there's really no need for you to go talking to the family trust, because we're trying to push for participation, so you have to participate in this in order for this to work, so we have different things on how to raise your score, so we coming up with these things like this, invest $1,000 directly into the trust, the family app, things like that. And that's kind of goes to your question of, so you download the app, of course, register on the app. And so now when you do certain things, okay, hey, I checked into the family reunion. Okay, you get your whatever points that's worth. Like you were saying, certain professional educational achievements, stuff like that. You get certain points for that.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
That is 7. That's all
That's
right,
solid.
right there.
That's
Seven,
solid.
when is your book coming out?
Yeah,
When is your
that's
out,
very
7?
that's very thought out. That's very and some of these things you can use as a right. Some of these things you can use as criterias like you said, to invest in the trust. So like this is very extensive. This is very extensive. I usually see people where it's like maybe 6 to 10 things, but it looks like this is borderline. This man said married for 10 years, married to 50 years, fitness. You got to have a child. If you have a child, that's crazy. That's crazy. But I'm pretty sure that's like if you have a child, right? So if you have a child, then you do certain things when you do that. But that's good. That's very extensive. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. I'm gonna take on that idea. I'm gonna create our own credit score.
Yeah, that is so wise.
That's a great idea.
Goes right along with the family credit cards. It just makes sense. That's why I asked him, when is your book coming out?
Yep. And your family currency. So you start creating your own family currency. This is how you start developing your own nation as a family. This is where the private citizenship comes in. You can create your own digital currency, and you Google how to do this, right? Create your own digital currency. Like ours is the Fanpreneur coin, right? We're starting to do a whole lot more different things. Like literally just look at how the government is made. That's why I said you have a family government. Look at how the government is structuring their business as a whole, their corporation as a whole, how the United States is moving, and just duplicate it. Like, let's take it to a next level. Like, this is usually something that's in our family legacy program. Like, you have family vital records, family census, family constitution, the Constitution is in the dynasty, but like you have family constitution, you have family bill of rights, you have family bylaws, you have family. There's so many different things you can implement within your family to make sure that things are in place. And that credit part is very similar to, but he could really convert a lot of those things into bylaws, honestly. Right. If you really want to take it to the next level. But that's very smart. That's good.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's some good stuff. Oh, he's hopping back on now. That man done lost internet connection.
Hello?
Yeah, you lost internet connection, my brother.
Yeah, sorry, but I don't know what happened, but I could go back to it. Oh, you were saying something. I don't want to just jump back where I was, wherever you was.
No, you can share your screen because everything was based on what we were talking about
Oh,
anyway. But
okay.
everyone was impressed. I'm impressed. Maybe I should create our own credit score. You feel what I'm saying?
I
Yeah.
like that.
So yeah,
Got
it's
to have it.
the
Got to have
family
that.
accreditation matrix score. So
Familia accredited matrix score. That's good. I love how each color, I'm going to call it a beam or pillar or whatever, has a different meaning behind it. Like if I'm at like 330, I'm at like unity or like protection. Do you get what I'm saying? I like that.
Principles.
Exactly. That's good. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. You can go ahead and explain what you were saying. That's some good stuff right there. He needs a service. How to create a credit score for families.
On 7.
Mm-hmm. He we gonna need that book, bro. That man and lost internet connection again.
Well, you know, when you get to talking about that good five stuff, they want to kind of.
Yeah, they don't want you to have it. That's what it is. The internet can't take,
Yeah.
the internet can't take that good stuff that he's giving right now.
yes, that's crazy.
That's
That's
good stuff.
the whole time. But
Yes, next level.
We might need a template, bro. You might need to give us a credit template you making in the community. In the
yeah, I
chat
might.
community. You know what I'm saying?
What you were saying, like the different things, I was saying you read a lot. You probably heard of Power versus Force. Have you heard of that book?
No, I haven't. I haven't heard of that book, but I will now.
Yeah, it goes into kind of what we were speaking about when Dr. T was on the line about vibrations. So the higher you go up in the vibrations, there's a certain title for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is, if you got a 1, you must have some issues going on.
Oh,
You're starting to come to a certain point, and at that point, your score goes up. So that's how it goes. So in these areas, these are the most, exemplary members. So, they need something from the family, from the trust. They get what they want pretty much. There may be some discussions here about the distinguished members, but for the most part, they get what they want. Neutral is like, yeah, everybody got to talk. We got to see, and this one is like, definitely no, don't even fix your mouth kind of.
Let me ask you a question though, because I saw, if you scroll down, there was a have a child section. So am I mandatory to have children?
No, that's just, hey, you add it on to the family, you get 10 points, 10 points to your credit score. Don't just go having 50 kids now, try to get up to exemplary by just kids. No, you can
so if I get 5 kids, do I get 50 points?
get 50 points. You got 50 points. So it's like, shoot, somebody that's an elder in the family, they might start off with 200 points.
No cap. Yo.
I got grandkids. What I get for grandkids,
Yo,
So,
okay, hold up. This is good. This is good. What if you have different baby mamas?
I don't know. I don't know. How they feel about you? Are they getting along? If there's no strife between everybody, you might get some points to keeping things.
And if I'm married, what if I got married, then divorced, or maybe what if I'm poly?
Okay, well, you got 2 wives.
You mean Pollyanna?
Yeah.
So
I'm just look, if we gonna make a credit score, we might as well make it the best
gotta
credit
go through it all, that's
what I'm saying?
standard operating procedures. That's
you feel I'm just trying to
go
help
through
you
it
out.
all. What's gonna raise it, what's gonna drop it. So yeah, me and my family, we go through Like, what is this? What is that? You know, these are just a couple of things though, you know, and one of the big things
Paul,
is,
you might need those therapy sessions.
No,
yo, yeah, you know, so I think I had that there. Yeah. So, you know, you got to attend certain therapy sessions. I saw it there. I can't. Okay, here you go. So, you know, if you going through therapy sessions, you know, you're going to get some points for that, you know, because a lot of people within our culture have some type of generational trauma or something like that. So, like you were saying, I think that was you saying, you know, you need a family therapist. So we're
for
gonna
sure. You definitely need it.
therapist. They'll let us know. Okay, they'll have access to the app on their end, on the therapist end, the add points. So attendance, they'll get their points. So stuff like that. And you know, another thing is like a family newsletter. We're all not together. We're all not in the same state, but you
I
know,
would add family Facebook group in there as well. I've seen a lot of families do Facebook groups now.
okay.
Decided
Yeah.
to do Discord because it was the happy medium between the younger people and the family.
Oh, Discord was? Oh, that's new.
Yeah, none of the kids wanted to be on. Anybody that was 15 and under, there was like Facebook's for old people.
That's very true. That's very true. No, that's very true. That definitely makes sense to me. But like, what? Okay, so let's say, are we maxed out at 850? Because if
Yeah,
let's say
we
I have
maxed out
20
at 850.
children, I get like 7 out of these. Let's say 90% of these done. I may hit like 900.
Let's see.
Is there like a
But the
limit?
thing is, well, the way it goes here, like for example, doing business with close family members, doing business with distant family members, distant second cousins, whoever's in the group, in the family, you know, whoever comes under the seal. Now, let's say you're doing business with Alex, and you know, Alex, your brother, you've
Right.
done business with Alex once, you get 7 points. Now you go back to Alex, you're only going to get 2 points this time. You already done, but we want you to do business with cousin Jeffrey, 2 states away. He does the same thing Alex do. Maybe just try to work with him just to put money in his pocket. You'll get that 7 points again. So, you know,
That's
you
valid.
won't be just doubling up every time, because you got to do, if you do it once, you'll get the points designated, but if you do it again, it won't be as much. So that's one of the things for that one, at least that's some example. But yeah, so you know, the longer you're married, the more points you get. You know, we want our family members to be in shape and stuff like that,
Sure.
and contributing to historical stuff. You know, hey, you got any pictures of great granddad? Anybody got pictures? We'll give you points for it, you know. So
Fitness challenges should be a higher number.
I thought so, because I just said it ain't appealing.
Because if I go to work out one time, technically I got 1 point. So like I like, or it should be like off of a goal. I think that, you know how with the credit score, you know, you got payment history, you have utilization. Those are the biggest things that affect your credit score.
Right.
Like you should maybe have some things on there that are like huge contributions that affect your credit score. Like I see you got married 50 years, is 50. Like I really feel like that fitness, people don't prioritize fitness like they should. So I think that should be kind of like as high
20,
as
25.
those. Yeah, like maybe I would say, yeah, maybe like 25, 30, somewhere around there.
Yeah, like lose
Same
20 pounds or something, or get at a
yeah. Like
certain
if you hit a
weight,
certain accomplishment or hit a certain goal, you may
or
get extra.
BMI is
Yeah.
certain.
Like go to the gym 200 days or more per year.
Exactly. In order for you to even get that fitness number. You feel me?
Right.
And you know, most people will even stay healthy. Like there's an app that they have now that they put fitness challenges into the app, and they actually get paid when they reach the goal. They make money off of it. So a lot of people accomplish it because they're looking forward to something at the end.
Exactly.
Right.
And
And
investing $1,000 directly to a family trust, definite 20 minimum.
yeah,
And
so
that should maybe be like recurring.
right. So
Annually or
get
something.
on a direct deposit, you'll get certain, you know, like if you could deposit 1,000 once, you'll get the 10 or the 20. But if you get on a subscription or direct auto deposit, you'll go up to 20 or something like that.
Exactly.
So that's what you know, just to incentivize people more, and like doing business directly with the family office. So that's saying,
important.
you know, if the family office and they need someone who does music, that the family office trying to make a commercial for a presentation at the retreat or something. We need somebody that does sound engineering. Is there anybody in the family? Okay, you did it directly with the family trust or the family office, so you get points for working with us, you know?
That's good. That's good, man. This is good. I like this a lot. I'm not even gonna hold you. This is very
Yeah.
smart.
So, but this is how, I was trying to tell you the hierarchy. So this is like the family name for one, and
Mhm.
this is what a spouse would get in, because it doesn't have the name. You
Yeah,
were
it builds on
born with
top
the
of each
name,
other. Mhm.
but this is like this is the legislative branch. They have the name and they have the mantling here, because this one don't
Mhm.
have that, the mantling, which
Mhm.
represents like the sweat and the blood, or the sweat, and the name represents the blood. So they have the sweat and the blood. This person don't have the sweat or the blood. They just came in.
Mhm.
But this is like the elder seal. So they
Mhm.
don't have the sash or the mantling, because at this point they don't need to sweat anymore. They're elder.
Mhm.
So, everything kind of has a symbolic, it has a meaning to it, why it's not there. Because, and like I was telling you earlier, it's the removing of the mantling is the ritual. So you take that off, and that puts you into the elder circle, so to speak. And then, it's that's the judicial, this is the executive branch. So
I'm
this is,
loving this medu nectar you got flowing around here, bro.
oh yeah. So that's, I'm big on that.
Egyptian language.
Yeah, so I learned a little bit myself how to speak it, and I know a little bit how to read, but I did have help with that. And we have our family motto here, but it's hidden. And
Mhm.
that's just an inclusive thing. You just don't see the seal and know, because there are certain things that, like, if we see, my last name Phillips, if we see another Phillips around, there's a question we may ask you, and only we'll know, but it's based on the family seal. I
Mhm.
think I got that here. I could show you. I had all this stuff up, because one of the things that I was telling someone, it was like, setting up family seals, that's good, but we need some type of identity manual to help people, because it's like certain symbols are here, people might be like, oh, that's evil or something like that, so let's explain what that stuff means, so
Yeah, for sure.
you had to
This
create
is
all
good,
of
bro.
this to so the family could understand what means what and how things actually operate and stuff behind it. It was something I was trying to get to. Hold on one second. There was a particular page I wanted to show you.
Be careful now. Don't give all your stuff on here. You feel me?
No, but
Careful.
I'm just sharing with you all, because I really don't talk to many people about family stuff. So if I can help you all see some stuff, it doesn't bother me at all. But you see here, we have family stamps. We all have a
Oh,
stamp.
we can't see it.
Oh, you can't see?
Mm-mm.
Hold on, let me stop sharing and I'll share again.
All right. I see it.
So we have family stamps. Everybody have a stamp. Not only do you have a seal, but you have a stamp. And this is like, if we need to communicate, no, it's authenticated, because it's an authentic document, because it has a stamp. Each seal has its own stamp, and you see where the
Mhm.
stamp originates from. This is the
Mhm.
name for that one, and then that little thing in the corner, it tells you where the stamp originates from. So you see where it comes from. And then this is, like you were saying,
I love
the,
it. The
the
stamps for when
authentication.
you're signing for mail.
Right. Right. So this
Mhm.
is just between families though. And this
Mhm.
is that, see, familial accreditation management number.
Mhm.
So you have that type of stuff. So
So let
yes.
me ask you this: with the credit score, does the like let's say I jump from like 100 to like 700. Does that mean I have to get the crest remade with the correct credit score on it?
No, this is not the credit score. This is your actual number. So like the fam, you have a fam number and then you have a fam score. So the fam number is say, okay, everybody gets their stamp, And up on the top, this is your number. So you might be member number 62. You know, that's member number 62 has a FAM score of 680. So that's just an identification number for everybody. Everybody's going to have one.
Got you.
So when you stamp that, I see, okay, this is 000. That's Jason over here. You know, so, but he signed it and he fingerprinted as well. It's thrice understood that is him. So it's authenticated document. And this is what I was telling you with the secrets, you know, or the authentication phrases. We all have it. So it's like, you know, it's certain elements that are hidden, you know, and if you know about an ankh, you will hold it in your hand in a certain way. So that rope there will be sitting on your hand. So an authentication phrase is, what tool does an elder keep on hand? It will be a rope, you know, just stuff like that, that you'd have to know. You'd have to be part of the family to know. So if you can't answer certain questions, you have our last name, you know, just in case we don't get to follow up with everybody, you know, we'll know who's who. So these are just little tidbits of things that kind of create that that communal effect. So you know, yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you all. So yeah, it goes into
That's good. Yeah, we're big on the crests and having, like, I know this guy who's developing his own language, family language.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's a totally different level.
Yeah, that's totally different.
You know what I'm saying? Because he created his own nation. You know what I'm saying? So he's finished the language actually. I can't remember. I don't know what the language is called, honestly, but he has over 2,000 people in his nation. So he's obviously established.
Yeah.
Right. A lot more established than an average individual. But now I appreciate you showing that, man. I know a lot of people are going to be really, really, one, surprised, and two, they're going to be like, dang, I need to think bigger, and very much inspired in what you're saying. It's very much, we appreciate that. You feel what I'm saying? It's a great thing for people to have those things situated. So,
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah. Our family was talking about creating our own language, and in the midst of it, we stumbled upon a language that is mostly known in Europe, but it's not widely used, called Esperanto, because most of our family speaks Spanish. So it would be the most common language between those who speak Spanish only and family members that speak English only, or both, bilingual students, family members. And Esperanto was so simple that when my son, he downloaded it on Duolingo, and he was almost completely fluent in about 3 months. That's how easy it was. But then we thought, if it's that easy to learn, it may not be a good idea. So we were trying to think of variations upon that. And then we started studying like how they create languages for TV shows like Star Trek and the Klingons and different things like that. So we are considering already, we've been talking about this for like 6 or 7 years, creating our own family language outside of Spanish and English. So it's a good idea.
yeah, I'm gonna have to hire a professional on how to actually learn how to speak it, though. There are people that legit designed to help you speak the language, but not only speak it, but also, you know, make it fluent. There's a difference from like creating a language and then speaking a language than being fluent in the language, and then be able to communicate it to other people in the language for other people to then understand it internally. You know what I mean? Those are all two totally different processes that you need like a legit linguistics person to teach you.
Yes, I agree with that. My mom is the last elder in the family that speaks both Spanish, Gypsy, and Patois, which are old languages from the Chocowee people from Panama. And I'm the only child in the family that knows all. There's no one else. So
You're trying to pass it down.
Yeah.
That's what it is, time to pass that thing down, for sure. But how did you all like the call so far? Was this call good?
Yeah, it was great.
Y'all enjoyed it? We
Yeah,
talked about everything.
it. My job was sucking up half the time, but I enjoyed it.
I love it. That's what I like to hear. It's definitely what I like to hear. I think that this call was great. It was the best, in my personal opinion, especially since seven of them. I thought my mind, this is what I mean. When you remember when I told y'all that I thought I knew everything? I thought I knew a lot of stuff. Now I got to develop a credit score. You know what I'm saying? It's different levels. It's different levels to the thinking, y'all. I got to develop a credit score for the fam. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great idea. So, and we may need help, Seven. So, I mean, I'm gonna hit you up so we can get that thing situated.
Yeah,
Be
definitely.
It could be two hitting you up, Seven.
I'm still learning like everybody else. Yeah, but yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate it, really do.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
This will be emailed to us because I didn't get the link to the Facebook. I know you create one for each new month, but I didn't get it. So I was just wondering, is this?
We'll definitely email it. It'll definitely be emailed. It'll be all the recordings are dropping today.
Awesome.
Well, recordings have been coming out, but like we're gonna email all of it to you all to make sure that you get it, and it'll be in the course, in the portal, so you'll all receive it. But I appreciate every single person for hopping on. Thank you all for participating. Oh, Seven, did you say something?
Yeah, real quick. We have this call tomorrow. There were some things I was expecting to learn about throughout the challenge. We haven't covered it just yet. It was dealing with the world passport. And it was another thing, but really around that area and how to go about it. I know initially we spoke about it. I went to the site and I wasn't able to see where I need to upload my family seal. So I was hoping to get some clarity on that.
Oh, yeah, you did message me about that and I forgot to respond. So you're talking about on the world passport site, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not totally sure on where to actually upload your crest on there, like the actual location. But what I have heard is that if you hit up the support of them, that they'll be able to actually situate that for you.
Okay. Yeah, that's what my question.
That's what I was told on that end of things in regards to the passport, crest on passport type of situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
That was my question. I was like, do I just reach out to the info?
You have to. Yeah. I forgot to I thought I don't know, that slipped my mind, but that's the way that you actually put it on there.
Okay.
You have to reach out to them. If they don't do that, there is another person that you can go to. I'd have to research what it is because I can't remember the name of the passport place again. But what I have heard is that you can just get that passport and then just go to somebody to remake it. Does that make sense? Like create a whole new
that sounds good to me, what you're saying.
Yeah, like you can remake the entire outside of the passport. Now, this is just these are stories. This is what I've heard. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that works when it comes to traveling.
Right.
But this is just what I've heard. What I do know is if you hit up support, they'll be able to give you an answer though.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Cool.
Now, I know you said you were talking about the Live Life claim and everything. For people who aren't aware of the Live Life claim, you go to two different places. I'll explain the Live Life claim in a second. But to answer your question, there's multiple people that you send it out to besides yourself. And one of those people is the IRS. Okay. So that's the information that I can give you on here. Like I said, the other information you actually got to be in the program to receive. But for people who aren't aware of what a Live Life claim is, pretty much when you are born, like I said, you're born with the Social Security and the birth certificate, right? Back in the 1666, there's an act that was created called the Proof of Life Act in 1666. King Henry the Eighth actually stated and created this Proof of Life Act, saying that you have to claim to be a living being by the age of 8, and if you don't, you are classified as dead in the eyes of the law. And if you're classified as dead in the eyes of the law, when you go to courtrooms, when they say all rise, they're all saying all rise from the dead, meaning that if I'm assumed dead, I have to also be assumed alive. So the goal is to claim yourself as a living being and actually be able to claim yourself and live life claimant. Right now, the document in regards to getting that, you got to be in the mentorship in order to get that. Right. But at the end of the day, those are the things that you want to implement. And the reason why that's important is because if you do not claim your life, you will have to pay taxes. You will have to have all this debt. You will have to, pay all this debt. You will have everything that a dead person overall will have. But if you are a living being, you are exempt from those things. And a way that you can also be exempt outside of a live life claim is trusts. Okay, that's why trusts are so important. And if you do more information on trusts also classifies you as dead. So you have to connect those two dots right there. Why does the trust classify you as dead? Why does King Henry VIII? And they're still implementing this, right? Even over hundreds of years, they're still implementing the proof of life. Why do they still implement this? Because they can. They're bending the rules. They're not breaking it. They're just bending it. Right. So these are things that you must be aware of. This is the part of knowing your rights. This is the part of knowing all the laws that come in place: consumer, common, statutory, intellectual property, all the types of laws that exist on here. You have to at least be familiar with them. So when you are in these types of cases, you know exactly how to take care of yourself. Okay. What I will implement, though, what I will put in the challenge portal is how to go into the courtroom correctly. When you have a court hearing, what you're properly supposed to say in the court hearing. Okay. When they say, hey, is Sapphire DaCosta here? How are you supposed to reply to that? Right. I will implement that within the challenge portal for you all, so you can at least be prepared. But in regards to the live life claimant and what exactly to do and the implementation of how to claim yourself, like I said, you all gotta join the actual mentor. I can't give you all the sauce. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of different things before you even do the live life claiming as well. So that's another thing. Right. So I hope that was able to answer your question as well, Seven.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, awesome. I just want to make sure I went through all of them. But like I said, though, that's the way there are many different places to send it to, but those are the major two places. You want to send it to yourself so you can have documents, because you want to mail it to yourself, excuse me. So you know how you mail copyrights, mail trademarks. There's a reason why it's mailed. It's mailed because the Universal Postal Union, aka the UPU, are really the places that this is the corporation that has stood the test through time. Right? It's literally been a recession-proof model. The old way that they used to send things was through birds. The next way that they used to send things was through mail. They stamped it and they had a person deliver it through a horse. The next way that they used to do it was through mail. You just put it into a mailbox and it gets delivered. Then another way that they did it was now email. Exactly. Right. Is now email. Right. So there's all different types of ways to do it. Now, we still suggest going through the mail system because they have their own system. Email is not enough. It's still new. It's too new for it to be the new mailing system. So you still got to go through the same mail background that you go through, which is why it's so important to do that.
All right. Would you get it notarized?
You notarize it yourself, 1000%. So
Okay.
the way that you notarize it by yourself, the original way of notarizing is an autograph, thumbprint, and your family crest.
Okay.
All in blue.
All in blue.
Oh, that's all I got in my house now. All blue pens.
All blue. That's all we got.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm missing something. That is considered a seal, by the way. But it's your thumbprint.
Didn't they use hair?
Huh?
Didn't they use hair? One string of hair?
That's if you want to claim yourself as a living being, you use your hair. But
Ah.
the way that you actually Actually, the way that you actually seal things is through a thumbprint, an autograph, and there's a third one, y'all.
Yeah, thumbprint, autograph, and the signature, right?
Autograph and signature are two different things. There's a third one. Hold on, let me grab it real quick. I'm gonna tell y'all.
That just blew my mind. Autograph and signature are two different things. Does anybody?
So would the footprint and thumbprint be the same thing?
Not sure.
7, you need to write a book. Even
Me?
the credit cards, I just think that that's genius.
Yeah, that's actually, I was waiting to ask a question about that. Because I was just curious how I should really go about structuring that.
I like it.
Right.
I appreciate you sharing too, because we were in the process and I was in Canva drawing out some things. And like he said, we have to think bigger now.
Yeah, you can go to the company that well Marcus, you're here. We were just talking
Yep.
about really briefly the credit cards that I think I asked you about on one of your lives about if I had 200 family members and I wanted all of them to have like a monthly allowance, what would be the best way to do that. Can I share my screen right quick to show you what I'm
Yeah,
talking
sure.
about?
I'm gonna look it up as y'all do that.
You see, so I have like certain guidelines for the different cards and who's able to get them. So just like a little a kid's card where they'll get just a little $250 a month, then a spouse can get 500. A family like a bona fide family member would get $1,000 a month. And then the elders would actually get $2,500 a month. And then anything like for the trustees, board of trustees, they actually have a card as well. And each card has like a different design or a seal that corresponds to that actual person. So there's a company called PEX that would make these type of cards. They'll be I'll have to go get them created the way I have them here, but they actually do issue cards. It's almost like employee cards. I don't need to have anybody's social or anything like that. I would just need to have like I guess a key man's situation or one particular person's social to get the account going. But yeah, so is there something that you think I should do differently or anything to that effect?
Let me look at it. My bad, I was looking it up. My fault. I feel like you said PEX. I've heard of that company before.
Yeah, it's PEX. It's a card. They deal with employee cards.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Standard minimum. Married 7 years minimum. Oh, that's spouse. Boy, I thought that was a child card. I was about to say, boy.
And that's between 14 and 18, you get a card. I mean, so
$1,000 annual fee.
what that is
The world.
when I say annual fee, what that is
5,000.
yeah. So what that is, the annual fee is essentially 1 month out of the year is not going to be any money distributed. The money that would be distributed is just going to stay in the trust so that we can continue to build a little bit.
1 month out of the year
Yeah.
is not going to be distributed.
Yeah.
But what was the second part?
Just so the trust can, replenish, not just keep putting out.
Oh, because this is coming out of the trust, of course.
It's coming out of the trust.
Got you.
So I put annual fee just more so as a mental, psychological thing that, hey, you're actually paying into the trust You know, it's money that could go to you, but instead you are offering it back to the trust as a, you know, way of keeping everything going, keeping everything funded.
Well, let me ask you this question, right? The processing fee and the $2,500 fee, why can't you combine them? Why can't the annual fee, why can't the processing fee become can come with the annual fee? Because if I'm looking at this and I'm saying I got to pay two fees, I'm more than likely not purchasing it. Like, let's be completely honest here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, it's an annual. Like I said, I could take off the annual fee,
No,
but
I like the annual fee. I'm just saying that you just want the annual fee to be, you just want to pay one fee. So it will be
you
like
want to pay this the processing fee.
2,750.
No, the processing fee is one-time fee. That's just to get the card, you know, you get
Oh,
payment, everything. That's just one time, you know, that's a
got
one-time
you.
fee. You know, you paying in to get this. That's it. You know, you could pay $100, $200, $300 just to get what essentially 20,000 for the year. You
Mhm,
can pay 250 to get 20,000.
mhm.
So you know, that's essentially what that is, just to set the card. Because to get the card, I think it's like 160 or something like that to actually get these particular cards printed. They'll be metal cards.
Got you. Now, I would attach to these cards cash flow, because if I'm having to use an annual fee of $2,500 to $5,000, I need to have some form of income coming in.
What do you mean?
So like, I'm not saying that that this affects the card. I'm just saying this needs to be an additional criteria to get the card. You need to be making X amount of money per year.
Oh, the actual family member.
Correct. The actual family member needs to be making X amount of money per year in order for that, because they need to be able to afford it. Do you get
Well,
what I'm saying?
it's actually going to be free money for them.
Yeah, but at the same time, they still have to pay an annual fee.
They do, but they don't. And the reason why I say it like that is because let's say, okay, for the $1,000 a month, just the legislative branch, the family card, that's $12,000 just every month. But as you see down here, it's one blackout period per year, which is actually the annual fee. So those are actually the same thing. It's just saying December, you're not going to get anything. That's that your annual fee was taken out from December, so you don't have to come out of pocket for anything, but you're not going to see anything there. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
automatically
yeah.
kind of taken.
It's still the gap of, okay, even if I have $12,000 a year to use, there needs to be a criteria, at least of, I need to have some form of financial education where it
Yeah,
teaches me how to properly use the card. That's one. Or I need to be making a certain amount of money per year, or both. But if
right,
it was a new person, like if a child is using this card up $250, the card, they're gonna max that card out. They don't know, they have no idea how
right.
to use the card. They don't know anything about the card. They don't even know how to manage their own money. So there has to be something that still benefits the trust in some type of way, or benefits not only the trust, but also them at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And I guess the one of the things I guess I've thought about that can go with that would be given the fact that PEX sets it up to where you can kind of track what's going on with cards. So this would actually tie into their credit, the family credit score. Like, hey, okay, we see you use your card actually for things that's actually conducive to growth for yourself, your immediate family, and the family as a whole, rather than just going to go buy cigarettes or something like that. So you know, and based upon how you use the card will determine if you're eligible for an increase if you need it. It won't be like a continual increase. At least that's what I'm thinking now. But you know, say, hey, I'm $50 or $200 or $1,000 short. Can I can the trust give me an extra 1,000 this month? Something like that. It would depend on what your fam score is or your family credit score.
Yeah, I definitely like how it affects the score. That can help as well, for sure. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it would still be just like any other credit card that would exist on this planet if it doesn't have some form of benefit of financial literacy.
Yeah, I get that and I like that. So I just got to see how to do that. Like what, because I don't know what type of requirement I could put on the child at that age, or or what requirements I could put on anybody. And I really don't want to put any at this point with the elders, any requirements upon them, given that they're elders and they've done their work, so to speak, at this point. So that was my only thing with them. Like, they don't really have to do much other than what you were saying earlier in the call. Like, they're the wisdom. They're just here to deal with the children,
Yeah.
really just go from there. But I think they're on every card. You are right. I think there needs to be some type of responsibility factor involved.
Yeah, there has to be, yeah, it'll just be like any other credit card that would exist, and then people can get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And because you want this to kind of be like the test before they get like cards in the real world. Does that make sense?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So like if I use this card the correct way, then I know that I can use the credit cards in the correct way.
Right.
Like, that's kind of like how you want this to work. That's just how I'm viewing it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
No,
I love the idea, by the way. That's just how I would view it. And yes, I was right. It was the seal, y'all. The seal, the thumbprint, and the autograph.
And you were saying something about a autograph and a signature are two different things. Can you go over that?
Yeah, 100%. So you know how you just sign like a regular signature? You know, it's usually italic, something along those lines. That's a signature. An autograph, and I'll put it in the Zoom chat, is
like
colon.
Colons? Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's colon, first name, dash, middle name, colon, last, period. That is your autograph. Does that make sense?
And
So
when
like,
do you usually use that? I've seen
usually
people
when
write
it
it on
comes
their
to mail.
passport.
When it comes to mail. So like in your case, when you were talking about the identity of using the signature within your family, in my head, that would probably be, in my head, I was thinking that probably would be better to use an autograph.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because it's it's personally up to you. You know what I'm saying? This portion is only for you to be able to claim and use for becoming private. You get what I'm saying? So like, that's why I was like, oh, that could be good for people to practice to use, to send mail to their families. They're using an autograph, or you could create your own autograph, because usually that name has connections to the assumed name, to the corporation name. Do you get what I'm saying? So you could probably create your own version and put that on there, or it could just be a signature. It's up to you. But that's the difference between an autograph and a signature, and that's when it will be used. Signature is usually used when you're signing a document. The autograph is usually used when you're mailing something.
Okay.
And the thing is that
Do both?
autograph can do both.
Can you sign and autograph on the same document?
Not for legal purposes, the way that we're talking about becoming claiming your life. No.
Okay.
Only an autograph. It won't work. Because that the like, for example, the Vatican only reads in those in autographs.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the oldest form of writing. But that's one of the oldest forms of writing.
So that's kind of like quantum then.
It's literally parse syntax. That's exactly what it is.
Right. And that's one of the things I put the Live Life Claim document. I took that verbiage and put that on my my children's birth records when I had created them. So
it's the same concept. That's what I was saying. You could use that for the part where you were saying signature on. You could probably use that as the autograph.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It probably could work, but it's some family members that they, it'll have to be retreats after retreats before I get everybody.
Yeah, you probably have to educate them too. There's a lot of education, but that's the point. That's the point of having people in the same room or having people on the same call. You want to bring in guest speakers as well on these family retreats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you're educating them on these family retreats. You want to make sure that you're doing a lot of these things so that when you're teaching them about the autographs, it's not an issue for them to be able to convert to them to the autographs. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's really where it comes down to. But y'all, that's my time. I appreciate y'all for coming out. I don't want to hold you all. I want to respect you all's time as well. Thank you so much for being on here, and I will see you all on the bonus time tomorrow.
At 10, right?
Yep, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And
Oh.
like I said, for the people, I believe it was you, Salahuddin, and 7. You all definitely fit out your application, so we're definitely going to look forward to having you all within our program.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm excited, y'all.
Okay, congratulations.
All right.
Yes, welcome to the fam. Welcome to the fampreneurs. Woo woo.
Thank you.
I
Thanks.
love it. I love it. Thank you all. Thank you so much, and I will see you all tomorrow. Okay.
All right. Take it easy, Marcus. Thanks,
Thank
y'all.
you. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.